Faizan, I think I'm finally going to tell her tonight, I said, my voice almost trembling as I paced my room. Faizan leaned against the doorframe, smirking. Finally. About time, little brother. Who is it this time, Aisha? I froze mid-step. Yeah. Aisha. I ran a hand through my hair. Her birthday party. I've planned everything. I don't know if I can do it. You can, he said, crossing his arms. You're awkward, but she likes that about you. Trust me. I frowned. She likes that? Are you just saying that to make me feel better? No, seriously, Faizan said, walking closer. Remember last week? When she smiled at you after that joke you made about her coffee obsession? I swallowed hard, my chest tightening. Yeah, that was. I think she was just being polite. Don't sell yourself short, he said, patting my shoulder. Look, I'll even help you. We'll rehearse. I hesitated, unsure why his offer both relieved and worried me. Rehearse? Like, what do I say? Faizan grinned. Exactly what's in your heart. But we'll make it smoother. You can't just blurt out, I love you, like a teenager in a rom-com. I groaned. I feel like a teenager anyway. My heart's racing already. You're fine, he said. Come on. Sit. Let's go line by line. I sat on the edge of my bed, notebook open, hands shaking. Okay. I want to say, Aisha, I've liked you since forever. I want to be with you. Will you? My voice trailed off. Will you what? Faizan prompted, leaning closer, his smirk softening. Will you be mine? I finished, whispering it like a secret. Faizan nodded slowly. Good. Really good. But you need confidence. Smile when you say it. Eye contact. Don't let her doubt that you mean it. I don't know if I can, I muttered. What if she laughs? Or says no? Then you live, he said casually. But trust me, she won't. You've got this. I glanced at him. You really think so? Absolutely, he said. But here's the thing, I'll be there. I'll make sure you get the moment. No interruptions, no distractions. Just you and her. I felt a flicker of hope mixed with nervousness. You do that? For my little brother? He raised an eyebrow. Of course. But, his smile flickered for a second, almost sly. Just, follow my lead, okay? I've got some ideas. I nodded, not noticing the subtle edge in his tone. Okay. I trust you. Good, he said. Now, remember the little details. Her favorite chocolate. The way she laughs when she's nervous. The way she tucks her hair behind her ear, like that, perfect little gesture. Those are the things that make her, her. I laughed nervously. You notice all that? I notice everything, he said smoothly. That's why I'm helping you. And tonight? You'll shine. I promise. Okay, I whispered, heart hammering. I hope I don't mess this up. You won't, Faizan said. You've waited too long to let this slip. Tonight's your chance. And if anything goes wrong, he paused, his smirk returning. I'll fix it. Trust me. I nodded again, but a strange chill ran down my spine. You're really sure you won't mess it up more than I could? Me? He laughed softly. Relax. I only want to help you. You'll thank me later. I tried to smile, but the flutter of unease in my chest wouldn't leave. Still, my excitement was louder. I imagined her face, her laugh, the warmth in her eyes as I finally spoke. I rehearsed it again, whispering each word, tasting the sweetness of hope. "You've got this, little brother," Faizan said, standing by the door. "Go make your move. And remember, I've got your back." "Thanks," I said, my voice quieter, more vulnerable than I wanted. "Really?" I watched him leave the room, the smirk still lingering, and felt my heart race faster than ever. Tonight would change everything. I just didn't know how. The music thumped, and I could feel my heart sinking with it as I scanned the room. Aisha was laughing with her friends, her eyes sparkling, her hair falling perfectly around her face. Tonight was the night. Tonight, I was going to tell her. "Relax, little brother," Faizan whispered beside me. "You look like you're about to faint." "I'm not fainting," I muttered, though my stomach nodded. I don't know if I can do this." "Just follow my lead," he said, grinning. "I'll handle the introductions. You'll get your moment." I nodded, trusting him as always, even when a small voice in my head whispered doubt. We moved closer to Aisha. Faizan leaned in, his hand brushing mine. "Hey, I need to tell you something," he said smoothly, stepping in front of me. I froze. Faizan?" "Relax, I'm just helping you," he said, eyes glinting. "You go grab drinks for everyone. I've got this part." Something didn't feel right, but I obeyed. I moved toward the table, watching him approach Aisha. I couldn't hear their conversation clearly, but the way she laughed and leaned in made my chest tighten. Then I saw it, Aisha's eyes flicking nervously toward me, then back to Faizan. And the words. I could almost hear them, "I've always liked you." No. That wasn't possible. I stopped in my tracks, pretending to fix a drink, but my heart hammered. Faizan was saying something intimate, something that belonged to me. I leaned closer, trying to catch his words. "You like me?" Aisha asked, voice soft, hesitant. "Of course," Faizan said, smiling that smug smile I hated. "I've liked you for a long time. I just didn't know how to tell you." No, I whispered to myself, my hands trembling. I wanted to storm over, to yell, to shove him aside. But I couldn't move. My chest felt heavy, my mind blank. Faizan laughed, lightly, and I saw him reach for her hand. My hand itched to grab it first. When he finally looked at me, it was with that same infuriating charm. "Relax," he mouthed. "You'll get your turn." I turned away, pretending to pour a drink, but the betrayal sank into my bones. I had trusted him. I had believed in him. And he had stolen my moment. Later, I cornered him in the hallway. "What the hell, Faizan?" I hissed, voice shaking. "Why would you do that?" He raised his hands, innocently. "Do what?" "You know exactly what. Aisha, my confession, my chance, and you." I couldn't even finish the sentence. Rage and disbelief tangled together inside me. I wanted to help, he said, voice casual, almost teasing. "You know me. I make things easier." "Easier?" I laughed bitterly. "You call taking her from me easier?" "I didn't take anyone," he said smoothly. "You're overreacting." "Overreacting?" "Faizan, she doesn't even know the truth. She thinks she likes you." I grabbed his arm, shaking him. "Why would you do this? We're brothers." He shrugged, that maddening smile curling his lips. "Maybe it's time you realized life isn't fair. I just spoke first. That's all." My chest burned. I felt dizzy, betrayed, humiliated. Every memory of our friendship, every promise we shared, seemed like a lie now. "I can't. I trusted you," I said, voice breaking. "I trusted you with everything." "I know," he said softly, almost too softly, like he meant it. "And I still do." But sometimes you have to take opportunities when they're in front of you. You'll understand someday. I shook my head, stepping back. Understand? How could I ever understand this? Calm down, he said. She's complicated. She'll see things differently soon. You'll see. I didn't want to see anything. I wanted to disappear, to rewind time, to never have believed in him. I walked away, my heart breaking with each step, feeling smaller, weaker, and completely betrayed. From the corner of my eye, I watched him return to Aisha, laughing lightly, touching her shoulder, saying things only I should have said. My hands clenched into fists. I wanted to scream, to fight, to demand justice, but I couldn't. I was frozen in shock, trapped inside my own disappointment. I slumped against the wall, closing my eyes. I replayed every memory, the jokes we shared, the times I confided in him, the way he always promised to protect me. And now, nothing. Faizan had changed. Or maybe he had always been this way, and I had just been blind. My trust was shattered. And I didn't know how to put the pieces back together. I couldn't sleep. My mind replayed the party over and over, every laugh, every word, every stolen glance Faizan had shared with Aisha. I tossed and turned, staring at the ceiling, my fists clenching the sheets. Why me? I whispered to the dark. Was I not good enough? My phone buzzed. It was Sara. You okay? I didn't answer at first. How could I explain that my own brother had stolen the girl I loved, the one I had planned my whole night around? Eventually, I typed back, not really. A few minutes later, she was at my door, knocking insistently. Open up, idiot. You've been ignoring everyone. I can't, I mumbled, letting her in reluctantly. Sara crossed her arms. You've been moping for days. Seriously, I thought Faizan was your brother, not a sociopath. I groaned. It's worse than that. He confessed to Aisha before I could. He made her think she likes him. She raised an eyebrow. Oh. Wow. That's terrible. Terrible. It's a nightmare, I snapped. I planned everything. I rehearsed what I'd say. And he just swooped in like I was invisible. Sara flopped onto the couch. I can't even imagine. But hey, drowning in misery isn't going to fix anything. Fix anything? I repeated bitterly. How do I fix my heart when it's shattered? How do I watch him? I stopped, remembering them together at the party, laughing, leaning close. My chest tightened. Hey, Sara said softly, touching my arm. You need to breathe. And maybe start thinking about yourself instead of him for a while. I can't. I can't stop thinking about him, about her, about everything I lost, I admitted, my voice breaking. Sara leaned back, eyes narrowing thoughtfully. You know, anger isn't the worst thing here. It's the push you need. You've been too nice, too trusting. Maybe it's time you take control. Show him he can't just walk over you. I swallowed, my throat tight. Take control, how? Start small, she said. Focus on yourself first. Confidence, work, friends. Make him notice that you're not the same kid who trusted him blindly. Then, maybe you'll decide what to do about him. But revenge isn't about hurting, it's about balance. I shook my head, still reeling. I don't know if I can. I feel weak. Humiliated. Like I'm nothing. You're not nothing, she said firmly. You're furious because you care. That means you're alive. Don't waste it being broken. I paced the room. I keep imagining what I should have said to Aisha, what I should have done to stop Faizan. I keep reliving their smiles, their whispers. It's like a knife in my chest. Sara nodded. Pain is proof you cared. But you have choices now. You can let this destroy you, or you can use it. Every betrayal can teach you strength if you let it. I sighed, sinking onto the chair. Strength feels impossible right now. I can't even face him without feeling like I'll explode. Good, she said, smirking slightly. Use that. Let it fuel you. You'll figure it out. And don't forget, people notice courage, even when it's hidden behind a mask of sadness. I rubbed my face, exhausted. I don't know if I can forgive him. I don't even know if I want to. Then don't, she said firmly. Forgiveness isn't the point. Clarity is. You'll see where you stand. But first, you have to stop feeling sorry for yourself. I swallowed, staring at the floor. Stop feeling sorry, easier said than done. Sara stood, patting my shoulder. Maybe. But I'm not letting you wallow alone. You'll get there. And when you do, Faizan won't know what hit him. Her words planted a seed, tiny but undeniable. Revenge? No, not yet. Transformation? Yes. I could rebuild myself, stronger, smarter, untouchable. I could watch him and Aisha, feel my power return slowly. I nodded slowly, swallowing the bitter taste in my mouth. Okay. I'll try. I'll try to be stronger. For me. Sara smiled. Good. One step at a time. And trust me, little brother, you'll come out of this storm stronger than ever. Just wait. I lay down that night, heart heavy but oddly determined. Faizan had taken my chance, but he hadn't broken me entirely. Not yet. I stared at Faizan across the cafe, pretending to sip my coffee while watching him laugh at some joke I couldn't hear. Every gesture, every smug grin, made my blood boil. I clenched my cup a little too hard, letting my knuckles whiten. Sara slid into the seat opposite me. You're staring again, she said, eyebrows raised. I can't help it, I muttered. He's so arrogant. And careless. He doesn't even realize how obvious he is. Sara smirked. Careful, little brother. That anger of yours can be a weapon, or poison. Are you planning to let him stumble, or are you going to push him? I don't know, I admitted, leaning back. I can't stay the same person. I can't keep watching him take everything from me without doing anything. Then start small, she said. Observe. Learn. Figure out his weaknesses. You don't need to confront him yet. I nodded slowly, the idea taking root. Fine. Watch him, take notes, wait for the right moment. Subtle. Quiet. Perfect. Over the next few days, I followed that plan obsessively. I watched Faizan at work, noticing how he bragged about his projects, how he dismissed others' ideas. I overheard him gossiping about colleagues, letting arrogance slip through like a poison. I can't believe he actually said that about Hassan, I whispered to Sara one evening. Like it's funny to humiliate him in front of everyone. Classic Faizan, she said, shaking her head. Careless, ego-driven. That's your leverage, you know. Use it wisely. I nodded, heart racing. I will. I hate that it feels like I'm planning behind his back. Sara leaned forward, her voice firm. It's not betrayal if he betrayed first. Remember that. And you're not planning to hurt anyone physically, just letting him see the consequences of his arrogance. Yeah, I muttered, more to myself than to her. Consequences. Karma. Subtle revenge, like I'm invisible now, but one day he'll notice. I started changing too. Early mornings at the gym, learning to run without stopping, building endurance. I swapped sloppy clothes for sharper ones, practiced speaking clearly, standing tall. Every small improvement was a silent promise to myself, I'm not the same person who cried behind his door. Sara noticed. You're different, she said one evening. Not just in appearance, your attitude. You're calmer, more focused. That fire in your chest. Use it, but don't let it consume you. I try, I said, flexing my hands absently. I want him to see me, see that I'm not a fool anymore. That I can rise without stooping to his level. You're already rising, she said. Now you just need patience. And timing. I watched Faizan stumble almost immediately, though unintentionally. At a meeting, he bragged about a client deal as if he'd done everything alone. The client raised an eyebrow, looking uncomfortable. I smiled faintly, hiding behind my notebook. That was the first of many small victories. Later, Sara and I reviewed my notes. See, she said, pointing. His arrogance makes him careless. His words, his actions, they all leave breadcrumbs. You just need to follow the trail. I do, I said, excitement tinged with bitterness. Every slip, every mistake. I'm memorizing it. I'm planning my next steps. Subtle, quiet, perfect timing. Sara shook her head, smiling. I can't believe I'm saying this, but you're enjoying it too much. I have to enjoy it, I said, my voice low. Or it will eat me alive. If I don't take control, if I don't act, I'll always be the loser in my own life. I can't let that happen. I get it, she said softly. Just don't lose yourself. Remember why you started. You're not just taking revenge, you're growing stronger. That's the real victory. I nodded, feeling a strange mix of satisfaction and guilt. But the guilt faded when I imagined the moment Faizan would finally realize I was no longer the boy he could control, no longer the fool who trusted him blindly. I think I'm ready, I said finally, voice steady. Ready to keep watching, ready to let him reveal himself. Ready to rise above him in every way. Sara smiled. Good. Just promise me you won't rush. Revenge is nothing if it's hasty. Wait for the perfect moment. Let the plan unfold naturally. I took a deep breath, imagining the future. Every step I took from that moment forward was deliberate. Gym sessions, confident strides, careful observation, subtle interventions, each one a small brick in the wall I was building between me and my old, powerless self. Faizan thought he had won. That he had the advantage. That I was still the same naive boy. He was wrong. And one day, he would realize it. I saw it first at lunch, in the cafe near our office. Faizan was telling Aisha some story about a big client win, and I noticed her eyes weren't sparkling like before, they were cautious, almost wary. Faizan, are you serious? Aisha asked, voice sharp but polite. You promised you'd handle the report last week. And now you're saying you forgot. Faizan laughed lightly, running a hand through his hair. Relax, Aisha. I had it under control. Everyone makes mistakes. Not everyone, she said quietly, but firmly. I almost smiled, hiding behind my notebook at another table. That tone, the one she used when she was disappointed but trying to stay civil, it felt like a crack in his perfect armor. Later, I called Sara. You won't believe it. She's noticing. Aisha, she's starting to see him. Finally, she said, leaning back in her chair. I told you patience was key. But don't get cocky. Just keep building yourself up. Let karma do the rest. I know, I muttered. But it's hard not to picture his face when she confronts him, or when he realizes no one's impressed by his arrogance anymore. Good, Sara said, smirking. Use that energy to keep growing. Don't let anger consume you. You've got your own victories to focus on. I nodded. That afternoon, I walked into the office feeling different. Confident. People noticed it immediately. My boss asked for my opinion in the meeting, and my colleagues actually listened. I could see it, the shift in how I was treated, subtle but undeniable. "Nice work today," Sara whispered later. "I saw you. You were commanding the room without even trying." "I didn't even realize," I admitted, surprised. It felt natural. Like finally, I'm actually seen. "Exactly," she said. Meanwhile, Faizan's starting to trip over his own ego. Small mistakes now, bigger ones later. It's only a matter of time before Aisha sees the full picture. I couldn't help glancing at him during a break. He was talking to a client, gesturing wildly, claiming credit for a team effort. The client looked skeptical. Aisha watched him, biting her lip. The tension between them was palpable, and I felt a mix of satisfaction and restraint. Later that evening, I bumped into Aisha outside the cafe. "Hey," I said softly. "Hi," she replied, smiling faintly. Not the warm, sparkling smile I remembered, but polite, cautious. "How's work?" "Better than ever," I said. "I actually got a few things done today that I'm proud of." "That's good," she said, her eyes flicking toward Faizan across the street, where he waved at her too eagerly. She sighed. I'm starting to notice some things about him. Things I didn't see before." I swallowed, feeling a surge of vindication. "Things like?" I asked, careful to keep my voice neutral. "Just, little things," she said, glancing down. "He's careless. Arrogant. Not as thoughtful as I thought. I guess I didn't realize it at first." I nodded slowly, hiding the smile threatening to escape. "Yeah. Sometimes it takes seeing the pattern before it clicks." Aisha nodded, frowning. I don't want to be wrong. I don't want to misjudge anyone. But I can't ignore it anymore." "You're not misjudging," I said softly. "Sometimes people show their true colors, and we just notice late." "Exactly," she said, giving me a brief, understanding look. "Thanks, for noticing, I guess." That night, I told Sara about the encounter. "She's questioning him. She's really starting to see his flaws." "I told you," she said, grinning. "Karma's whispering, little brother. Patience and growth, both work in your favor. You're rising while he's starting to falter." I sighed, feeling a mixture of satisfaction and restraint. I didn't want to gloat or push too far. My goal wasn't to humiliate him publicly, it was to let the natural consequences unfold while I strengthened myself. "I know," I said quietly. I can't stop thinking about how long it took for him to slip. I want him to see it all without me having to say a word." "That's the point," Sara said. "Your life improving, your confidence growing, your patience paying off. That's what will hit him hardest when he finally realizes he's lost his grip." I nodded, thinking about the months of subtle victories, small mistakes he'd make, slight slips of arrogance, each unnoticed by most but catalogued carefully by me. "Don't rush it," Sara reminded me. "You're doing exactly what you should. Focus on yourself, and the rest will follow naturally." I leaned back, feeling the tension in my chest ease just slightly. Faizan's cracks were showing. My own life was improving. Patience, restraint, growth, they were stronger than any immediate revenge. And slowly, quietly, the balance was beginning to shift. I waited outside the cafe, heart hammering, as I saw Aisha approach. She spotted me and stopped, her expression serious. I need to tell you something," she said, voice low. "What is it?" I asked, tense, gripping the strap of my bag. She took a deep breath. "Faizan, he told me things about you before you could tell me yourself. He confessed first. He made me think I liked him." I froze, my stomach dropping. "He what?" Aisha nodded, looking down. "I didn't know. I never realized it was your chance. I thought he was honest. I'm sorry. I ran a hand through my hair, furious. He lied to you. He lied to me. Everything I trusted him with, it was all a joke to him. It wasn't a joke, she said softly. But you need to confront him. You deserve that much. I nodded, feeling a strange mix of anger and determination. You're right. I can't stay silent anymore. Later that day, I found him alone in his apartment. He looked up, smirking, as if nothing had changed. Faizan, I said, voice cold. We need to talk. He raised an eyebrow. About what? Don't play dumb. You know exactly what, I snapped. Aisha told me everything. How you confessed before me, how you made her think she liked you. His smirk faltered for a second. Oh, that. I exploded. You betrayed me. You stole my chance with her. How could you? He leaned back, hands raised in mock surrender. I didn't mean to hurt you. I couldn't let you get ahead. What? I shouted, stepping closer. You couldn't let me get ahead. Faizan, she was mine. I planned it. I rehearsed it. And you? I know, he interrupted, voice tight now, his arrogance slipping. I know. But I've always been in your shadow, okay? Always. And I was scared that you'd surpass me. That she'd like you more than me. I blinked, stunned. Scared? You're admitting this now. You stole my chance because you were scared of me. He nodded, voice almost a whisper. I was proud, and envious. And I was a coward. I couldn't handle seeing you win. So I acted first. I'm sorry. Sorry. I laughed bitterly. Do you know what your sorry feels like? Do you even understand the betrayal? I do, he said, standing, his voice breaking. I've thought about it every day. I hate myself for it. But I couldn't stop myself. I was weak. You were weak, I repeated, my voice shaking with anger. And you hurt everyone in the process. You hurt me, Faizan. You hurt her. And for what? Pride? Fear? Envy? He hung his head. Yes, all of it. I'm human. I failed. I know I don't deserve your forgiveness. I took a step back, letting my anger simmer. You know what? I don't care about your excuses. They don't lessen the pain. They don't erase the trust one had in you. I am done being your fool. His eyes widened, a flash of panic there. Wait. You can't. I didn't mean. I don't want to hear it, I said, voice steady now. I want you to understand something. I am no longer the naive sibling you could manipulate. I am not the one who will silently take your arrogance or lies. I understand, he said softly, almost too softly. I didn't realize. Realization comes too late, Faizan. You acted out of fear and pride, and it cost you everything that mattered. And don't think for a second that I'll forget. I am stronger than I was. I've grown. And next time, I won't hesitate to protect what's mine. He looked at me, shame and fear mixed in his expression. I'm sorry, he whispered again. I don't need your sorry, I said. I need my life back. And I am taking it, with or without you in it. I turned and walked out, leaving him standing there, powerless, his defenses stripped away. My chest was tight, my heart still raw, but a strange clarity settled over me. The betrayal was never about me, it was about his insecurities, his envy, his fear of being overshadowed. That didn't make it hurt any less, but it made me see the truth. Outside, I breathed in deeply, feeling the weight lift slightly. I had confronted him. I had spoken my truth. And now, I could move forward. Stronger, wiser, and untouchable. Aisha's words echoed in my mind, "You deserve that much." Yes. I did. I started small, like Sara said, watching, waiting, letting Faizan's careless words land where they would. I told myself I wouldn't be cruel. This was about balance, not revenge. "You're sure about this?" Sara asked as we sat in my car, late. "I'm sure," I said. "No direct attacks. Just, exposure. Let people see him." "That's risky," she said. "What if he blames you?" "Then I accept it," I said. "He's sloppy. He leaves trails." "We'll be careful," she said, tapping the window. "But promise me, no traps. Just truth." "Promise," I said. We listed moments, times he'd taken credit, promises he'd broken, jokes that stung. I didn't make things up, I arranged truths so the pattern would be visible. "You're really doing this?" Aisha asked me one afternoon over coffee. She looked cautious, but there was warmth in her eyes again. "I am," I said. "Not to hurt him. To make sure truth is clear." "Promise me one thing," she said. "What's that?" "Don't become him." "I won't," I promised. At work, I left subtle reminders, emails that credited the right people, comments in meetings that highlighted teamwork. Small corrections, barely noticed alone, began to add up. "Nice subtle burn," Sara murmured while I fixed a slide Faizan had misrepresented. "I don't want to humiliate him," I said. "I want truth where it belongs." "Right," she said. "Let him watch his house of cards wobble." I nudged conversations with friends. "Did you hear how Faizan described the Henderson project?" I'd ask casually. People exchanged looks. The seeds took root. One night at dinner, between his colleagues, I mentioned a junior who'd actually proposed an idea Faizan claimed. "No way," one said. "He presented it like it was his." "Then the client corrected him," I added. "What happened?" another asked. "He froze," I said. "That's all." A week later, a junior approached me in the hallway. "Hey, thanks," he said quietly. You spoke up about my work. I wasn't sure how to do it." "It's okay," I said. "You deserved credit." He smiled, relief softening his face. "People notice now. It's like the fog is clearing." Those small moments kept me steady. I watched dignity slip from Faizan's face over the coming weeks. He tried to explain, then charm, then own it when charm failed. Each step worked less. People stopped assuming he was flawless. "Are you sure you're okay?" Aisha asked, carefully. "This path. It is changing me," I admitted. "Sharper. More honest. Just don't lose yourself," she warned. "I like you the way you are." "I like me more now," I said. Strength felt like a steady tide. Then the moment came. Faizan, eager to impress a visiting client, claimed a proposal he'd only edited. The client asked, "Who initially proposed this?" Faizan froze. Eyes turned. Panic flashed in his face. "It was a team effort," someone said. Simple truth. The client's expression shifted. Faizan stammered, tried to redirect, but the seed had taken hold. Later he cornered me in the stairwell. "Did you set that up?" he demanded, accusing, hurt edged with anger. "No," I said. "I didn't set anything up. I reminded people of what they'd seen. The truth was there." "So you exposed me," he said. "You wanted people to think less of me." I wanted them to think clearly, I said. Not less. Clear. You're playing games, he spat. You're ruining me. I'm not ruining you, I said. You're doing that yourself. He laughed, a short bitter sound. You could have warned me. I would have stopped. You wouldn't have, I said. You never did when I told you. You kept taking what wasn't yours. He looked small then, not the cocky brother I once defended. I didn't mean to. Intentions don't erase damage, I said. You broke trust. You broke what little belief I had left in you. I know, he whispered. I'm sorry. I'm trying to fix it. Fix it, I said. Fix it with honesty, not gifts. He nodded, swallowed. I will. I'll try. Good, I said. Prove it. But don't expect me to leap back as if nothing happened. Later, a colleague pulled me aside. Hey, thanks for calling that out in the meeting, she said. It gave the team a chance to be fair. People respect that. Thanks, I said. Her words landed like a bomb. Aisha texted, I don't know how to thank you. I see things clearer now. You're not alone, I replied. Her response warmed me, but I kept my joy measured. Retribution wasn't my aim anymore, clarity was. Faizan tried apologies, gifts, awkward charm. The tone had shifted. People who once laughed at his jokes now listened with an edge. He remained my brother, which complicated everything. But he could no longer pretend to be perfect. Are you satisfied? Sara asked one night. I'm content, I admitted. It feels right. I didn't want to destroy him. I wanted him to stop feeding his ego by hurting others. Now what? She asked. Now I build, I said. Karma did what I couldn't, people now see him. I'm free to live without that weight. She smiled. Finally. So I watched as balance adjusted, quietly. No public spectacle, just small, honest corrections that made truth audible. I had turned the tables without becoming the person who hurt me. The satisfaction was quiet, steady, the kind that warms the chest rather than bursts like fireworks. I saw it the moment I walked into the office. Faizan's usual swagger was gone. His confident smile, the one that made people follow his every word, was replaced by a tight-lipped tension. Faizan, are you okay? Someone asked hesitantly. He waved a hand. I'm fine, he said, but his voice lacked conviction. I leaned against the doorway, silently observing. Every glance he cast around the room met skeptical eyes. Colleagues whispered. Corrections were made quietly in meetings he tried to dominate. I couldn't help the small, almost imperceptible smile that tugged at my lips. Later, I found Aisha alone near the cafeteria. Hey, I said softly. Hi, she replied, eyes downcast. I've been avoiding him. I don't trust his words anymore. I understand, I said, keeping my voice calm. He made his choices. Choices, she whispered. I think he broke a lot more than trust. I feel betrayed. It's hard to watch someone you liked crumble, but he brought it on himself. You're right, I admitted. And it's not just about him. It's about how we respond, how we grow. She nodded slowly, and for the first time in weeks, I felt a sense of peace around her. That afternoon, I overheard Faizan trying to salvage a conversation with a client. Look, I handled the proposal. No, Faizan, the client interrupted, voice clipped. The team brought it together. We're acknowledging everyone's contributions now. He stammered. I felt a pang of empathy even as satisfaction warmed me. The fall was sharp, undeniable, but I remembered Sara's words, don't lose yourself. I wasn't laughing cruelly, I was witnessing natural consequences. Back at my desk, Sara leaned in. You're observing, not mocking, she said. That's good. That's healthy. I know, I said. But it's satisfying in a quiet way. I see him falter, and yet part of me feels sorry. It's strange. That's the balance, she said. Revenge without cruelty. Karma without hate. I nodded, thinking about how far I'd come. Sleepless nights after the birthday party, heartbreak that hollowed me, the planning and patient growth, it all led here. I was no longer the naive sibling who trusted blindly. I had grown stronger, wiser, more aware. That evening, I confronted Faizan one last time. He sat in his apartment, shoulders slumped, clearly exhausted from the day's mounting failures. Faizan, I said, voice calm but firm. He looked up, avoiding my eyes. I know I've lost, he said quietly. I don't know how to fix any of it. You can't fix what's already been broken, I said gently. You can only learn, change, and maybe earn back respect, if you're honest, consistent, and patient. He swallowed, a shiver of humility in his posture. I wish I'd listened sooner. I wish I hadn't been so proud. Pride can destroy if it's unchecked, I said. You're learning that the hard way. I don't want you to be crushed forever, but you have to take responsibility for your actions. He nodded, voice barely audible. I understand. I truly do. I know, I said. And I forgive you, not to erase what happened, but to free myself. I can't move forward carrying anger forever. He looked at me then, eyes wet, humility replacing arrogance. Thank you. I don't deserve it, but thank you. I gave a small nod, stepping back. Make it count. Learn it. Be better. That's the only way forward. Walking back to my apartment, I felt a weight lift. Satisfaction wasn't about seeing him fall completely, it was about seeing balance restored. People noticed my growth, my confidence, and my composure. The hurt was still there, a shadow reminding me of the past, but it no longer controlled me. At home, I reflected on everything, the heartbreak, the betrayal, the careful planning, the patience, the subtle exposure of his flaws. I had grown stronger, more confident, and morally grounded. I hadn't become cruel or vengeful, I had simply allowed consequences to unfold naturally while improving myself. Aisha texted me, I admire how you handled everything. You didn't stoop to his level. I smiled, fingers hovering over the keyboard. I had to rise above. That's all that matters. That night, I looked in the mirror and saw someone transformed. Someone who had loved deeply, been hurt, endured betrayal, and emerged stronger. The road wasn't over, but I felt capable, in control, and aware of my own strength. Faizan's downfall had come not from my actions but from his own choices, his own pride. And I, finally, was free. I sat on the bench outside the park, breathing in the crisp evening air. The world felt quieter somehow, less chaotic. It had been months since the fallout with Faizan, and slowly, peace had begun to seep in, filling spaces I didn't realize were still raw. Sara plopped down beside me, tossing her scarf onto the grass. You're quiet today, she said, raising an eyebrow. I'm reflecting, I admitted, smiling faintly. Everything that happened. How I've changed. You look different, she said. Stronger. Sharper. Less like someone waiting for the world to move. I feel different, I said. I'm finally not defined by what Faizan did or who hurt me. I'm me. Only me. That's good, she said softly. You've earned it. And the best part? You didn't let bitterness take over. I tried, I said. I really did. But it wasn't easy. There were nights I replayed everything, wondering if I should just explode, confront the world. But patience taught me more than anger ever could. Sara smiled. That's why I stuck around. I knew you'd come out of this intact, maybe even better. I laughed lightly. Better feels like an understatement. At that moment, Aisha approached, her steps light. She stopped, looking at me with that familiar warmth in her eyes. "Hey," she said softly. "Hey," I replied, standing. She hesitated, then smiled. "I just wanted to, thank you again. For everything. For handling things the way you did. For letting truth reveal itself." "You don't have to thank me," I said. "I didn't act to impress anyone or to make anyone suffer. I acted to reclaim myself, my own space. And you just supported me quietly." Aisha nodded. "I learned a lot from you. About strength, patience, and self-respect. I'm glad we didn't let the past completely destroy what we had as friends." "Me too," I said, feeling a warmth spread through my chest. "It's good to reconnect without all the tension." We walked together for a while, sharing stories of work, our small victories, and the little absurdities that had kept us laughing despite everything. I noticed how easy it felt to be around her now, unburdened by jealousy, betrayal, or regret. "You've changed," she said quietly. "Not just your confidence, but the way you see the world. You're calmer, and yet sharper." "I had to change," I said. "Otherwise, all that hurt would have stayed with me forever. I wanted to grow, not just survive." She smiled. "And you did." Later, Sara joined us at a cafe. We talked for hours, laughter and stories flowing naturally. At one point, she leaned back and said, "You know, true friends are rare. People like Faizan, they'll always test you. But people like us, we build each other up." "I know," I said, sipping my coffee. "I learned that the hard way. But it's worth it. Every ounce of patience, every quiet effort to grow, it led me here." "Exactly," Sara said. "And you're free now. Free to choose happiness, to trust selectively, and to love honestly." I nodded. "And to not dwell on what I can't change. I see Faizan now, as someone flawed, human, but no longer someone who controls my emotions." "Good," she said. "You've taken the power back." I smiled, feeling the truth in her words. It wasn't about revenge anymore. It was about life, about understanding that betrayal, mistakes, and even pain are part of the balance. Karma has a way of correcting itself, and I didn't need to force it. Aisha looked at me, eyes reflective. "Do you ever miss what could have been?" she asked quietly. "Sometimes," I admitted. "But I also realize that what could have been, wasn't mine to take. And what is mine now, is something I choose consciously. No manipulation, no selfish games, just life as it is." She smiled softly. "I like that. I like the way you see things. You've been part of that growth too," I said. "By trusting me, by staying honest with yourself and with me. I couldn't have come this far alone." We sat in silence for a moment, letting the city's lights reflect off the pavement. The world felt steady, the chaos of the past months softened by reflection and perspective. Sara reached over, placing a hand on mine. "See? This is your life now. Clean slate. Confidence, friends who matter, clarity about what matters. You've earned peace." I nodded. "Peace, it feels different than I imagined. Not emptiness, not numbness, but fullness. A sense of control, yes, but also acceptance. And growth," Aisha added. "You've grown in ways that no betrayal could ever take away." "I have," I admitted, smiling genuinely. "I'm stronger, wiser, more patient. I trust myself now. And I know who I want around me. People who lift me up, not tear me down." Sara grinned. "And that's why you'll continue to thrive. Karma taught Faizan his lessons, but you learned the more important ones, patience, integrity, and self-respect. I leaned back, letting the weight of the past lift fully. I had lost nothing that mattered. The heartbreak, the betrayal, the anger, they were part of my journey, not the destination. I was independent, empowered, emotionally mature. Here's to moving forward, I said, raising my coffee cup. Aisha and Sara mirrored me, their smiles warm and genuine. To moving forward, they echoed. And in that moment, I realized I had everything I needed: clarity, true friends, self-respect, and the freedom to live fully, unburdened, confident, and ready for whatever came next.